Tony, I'm pretty sure you were in the crowd at the charity softball game to see Aiden pull a split there at first base.
Right.
Just how unique is his all-around athleticism to do all the things he talks about doing, all these various mixed martial arts and swimming and all these other
Right.
activities that there aren't a lot of two eyes and three techs out there who can do the things that he does.
Definitely not. I go back to photo shoots when he was during his recruiting visit, and he was doing all these ninja jumps and splits and everything else. And then, out there watching him in the softball game, I've never seen a first baseman do that. Not only did it once, he did it like twice, where he's able to do the splits and catch it. But it's just a testament to the type of athlete he is. He's a big body. He's got position flex. He can. Right now, we're training him outside, similar to Birch, similar to Dorless. Then also on third down, sliding him inside. So, he's got the physical traits to be able to do the job. It's just a matter of him just learning the job and being able to execute at a high level. But so glad we have him. And he's a guy that can fluctuate anywhere between 290, 305. And I'm just excited for him to see what he's going to be able to do for us this year.
Right. After the scrimmage, Coach Lanning credited the defense with the win. Just curious what you saw from the defensive side, especially with the battle in the trenches, where you saw the defense have the biggest impact at the line.
Yeah, I think just having all 11 guys in the run game, it takes all 11 guys to be able to stop the run. And then, we got some really good edge guys that can get after the quarterback. When we put them in passing situations, we can allow the front to go eat and be able to, apply pressure on the quarterback and affect the quarterback. And, I think that showed up in the scrimmage. But today the offense got on us. And, that's a testament to, the type of team we have. We always talk about iron sharpens iron. This whole camp, it's been, offense one day, defense the next day. And, I wish we responded better to what happened today. We were put in a lot of different situations. We were in 2-minute situation, 4-minute situation. We needed to stop the offense to get the ball back. And, they got first downs twice, so we lost that situation. So I just love how Coach Lanning continues to put us in situations where we compete. And, today wasn't our best day.
Left, James.
There's a bit of a gap in perception and reality with Bear, at least outside the building, certainly.
Mm-hmm.
From the young man who you've gotten to meet over the last 8 months, who is the Bear Alexander that the world doesn't know, or that the world has a misconception about because of all the transfers, because of changes, because whatever the case is, they've created a narrative about him. What is it that they should know about him?
Yeah, that's a great question. As we go through the recruiting process, obviously we gather as much information as we can, and there's the positive and there's the negative out there. And when we had a chance to sit down with him, my main focus with him is like, what are you going to do in the building now? That's all that matters. And he's been a great teammate. He's a team first guy. Amari Washington's girlfriend had a baby this summer, and Bear called all the guys together, and they had a baby shower over his house. And, that just shows a testament to what type of teammate he is. He cares about the brothers in his room, and it showed a lot, for him to be able to get a lot of guys together to do that for him. So I think, if anything, people are going to know that Bear's here. We want to recruit team first guys, and he definitely fits that mold for us.
Right back here, James. Then we'll go Tyson.
You mentioned Amari. Obviously, he waited his turn behind older guys, bigger guys, etc., until now.
Yeah.
If this is clearly his time, why is he going to be ready 2.5 weeks from now when that time comes?
He's had an opportunity to play with a lot of defensive linemen in the room that are now playing on Sundays. You go back to guys like Taki Taimani, that was a great example for him. And, obviously you had DJ Harmon and Jamar Caldwell were guys that he was rotating with. And, this is his time. It's not easy to come in as a defensive lineman. It's one of the toughest positions to play. You're asking one person to take on 700 pounds at some point, versus double team blocks. And, he's built himself up physically to be able to play those blocks. But he's got such a unique talent in terms of, it's not like a lot of guys that I've had in my career or even seen that have the ability that he has at 330 pounds to be able to run as fast as he can. Today we had a high-speed goat drill, and he's running with the outside linebackers up in the front. to have a guy that big and that athletic, it's hard to find. And he's doing a really good job of understanding the defense. I see a lot of growth in him and in the way he communicates and line up guys. He's a guy that we're definitely going to lean on a lot this year, and it is his time. And I expect him to have a big season, and he's working really hard to get to that point.
Right here in the middle, Tyson.
Now that the transfer portal is a handful of years into its existence, I'm curious for you, has the process changed in terms of like how you evaluate what's available in the portal from that first year when it was the Wild West to what it is now, like when it's established? Like how has your role kind of as a coach gone about just seeing who's in there?
Yeah, when we first came, obviously we needed to fill some positions. Obviously, with what was gone, and the transfer portal is what we leaned on early. We feel really good about the young men that we recruited, the past couple of years, and we really didn't go hard into the transfer portal, even though we lost Jamar Caldwell and DJ. And we feel like the young men that we have right now are where we want them to be in terms of their development. You talk about Tion Gray, Terrence Green, even Jericho Johnson. Like these guys have completely changed their bodies and are big enough and strong enough to be able to hold a point for us. And we want to develop those guys to be the best they can. So as far as the transfer portal, obviously people are going to look and see if that's a position of need. But at this point for us, we got guys that we feel like we have the depth to be able to play.
Last question here, James. It's got to be a quick one. He's got to be out in a minute.
Use Dan's term, above the line, below the line. After one scrimmage, how many of your guys do you feel are above the line? And with one more scrimmage to go before the season starts, how many could put themselves there a week from now?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think, right now, at least 6 guys I feel really good about, guys that can play winning football for us. Obviously where we want to be have as many guys as we can to be above the line, but, I feel really good about the guys that we have right now. Obviously we got the guys on the edge with Tatum and Mattel that have got a lot of experience with Blake Purchase. But I think this year is going to be, be a season with us to play by committee, find the right guys. We got Tion Gray and Terrence Green, first, second down, big body type guys that can go stop the run for us. If it's going to be third down or second long type situations, obviously you got Amari Washington, you got Aiden OBrien, Bear Alexander, those guys that can go win on the rush for us inside. So, we got guys that are playing above the line that can win for us, and it's just a matter of mixing, matching personnel in terms of what the situation is so that we can go win those downs.